Hi, it's the Lipstick Gal. Thank you so much for watching today. I wanted to give you an update on some new lip products I've been trying. As my channel name suggests, I have a thing for lipsticks. Lipstick is literally my favorite makeup item. I will go completely barefaced, nothing but skincare sunscreen, but I will always have a lip product on. And sometimes it's a clear balm, sometimes it's a bright red lipstick, but it's really where my passion lies. It's my favorite thing. I thought instead of just adding them in with the what's good and what's not videos I've been doing recently, just to do a dedicated lip video. That just might be the easiest thing. I'm just gonna start with a lipstick that I'm wearing right now. This is the Forever Dior Matte Transferproof lipstick. I have shade 999 in Forever Dior. Now, you know, if you've watched many of my lipstick videos, red is literally my favorite lipstick shade to wear. And when I heard that there was a new formula from Dior, that this product was supposed to be transfer proof, was supposed to stay put, was supposed to have 16 hours of wear, I was so intrigued. If you're wondering what it's like, it goes on super creamy. It feels almost like a cream lipstick formula-wise, and then it dries down. And it dries down to a dry but not uncomfortable texture. Some lipsticks, when they dry down, they end up feeling tacky, so when you press your lips together, it feels like they're always like pulling each other apart and they're kind of sticking to each other. There's a little bit of that, but only if I really press my entire lip surface together. I don't feel that I have that problem when I'm just talking and the center portions of my lips touch. To me, that's normal, that's not a big deal. This formula claims to have 16 hours of wear. It claims to not transfer to other surfaces, including fabrics. Here's my experience. When you tell me you've got 16 hours of wear, I don't expect it to be, 16 hours later, almost all the color is gone and I've got a thin little scraggly line left on the outside edge. I want it to look mostly like this 16 hours later. That has not been my experience. But I'm not gonna say that this is a slouch of a lipstick. It does power through a lot of things. It does do well when I'm drinking from a coffee mug. I don't find any lip print on my coffee mug. I don't find any lip print on my water bottle. I don't find any lip prints on utensils unless I am eating a salad with an oily vinaigrette or a slice of pizza. I do find that oils will break this down, but that's true with most long wear lipsticks, so I don't really count that against it. I feel like it mentioning that it has 16 hours of comfortable wear, I think it depends on your lips. As an almost 48-year-old, I find that the older I get, the drier my lips get, and the less they are able to handle a heavier duty formula. This is not necessarily drying, but by the time it comes off at the end of the day, my lips are definitely asking for a hydration layer. I wouldn't say that my lips end up getting dry and flaky. They don't end up looking really pruny and wrinkled, but when the makeup comes off at the end of the day, the first thing I reach for is a hydrating balm. This is not necessarily destroying my lips, but it's not really offering a layer of comfort and like plushness. There are a couple of issues with this lipstick, and I feel like at the $42 price point, I shouldn't be having these problems. First of all, I have a problem with the packaging. Now, the packaging is pretty. It has, the CD here in silver. It has this quilting going on here, a neat sort of architectural sort of detailing to the packaging. But my beef with this is that this is not a completely square package. This does not fit on any way you push it on, because this way it's not going to go together. It has to be lined up perfectly. And if you don't know that, you're going to damage the packaging. And I noticed this first when I was at Sephora looking through all of the new shades just to see which one I wanted. I noticed that a lot of these caps had cracks, and I'm like full on breaks and cracks all the way halfway up through the lid. And I was like, what is going on? And that's when I realized it won't fit on both ways. And if you try and force it, which I did once accidentally, I got, see this little white spot here? A little stress mark, and I have another one on the other side from not carefully lining this up. I feel like if you're going to make it slightly rectangular, maybe a little bit more so that it's easy for me as the consumer to see which way the cap goes on so I don't break the packaging. Because at $42 and a luxury lipstick brand, I definitely want this to be pretty from start to finish. From the minute I open it up till I get that last bit of lipstick out of here, you know, a year or more later. I want it to look good. I want it to be beautiful. And the fact that I already have like little stress marks right here on the front and the back because the cap doesn't go on, it only goes on a certain way. You know, I just have to get it right before I press it down, unless I break the cap. That bothers me. Another thing that I've noticed is that this lipstick, being that it's a bright color, is super obvious where it is on and where it's not on. Now, I obviously, but I never really like to see that little flesh toned ring of lips right on the inside where my lips touch. Now, I have some formulas that when I apply it there, it stays there. This is one of those that if the skin is slightly wet, it's not gonna stay. And you might notice it. I have that flesh toned ring. Now, if this was a nude lipstick, it wouldn't even matter because it would be not as noticeable by the eye. You'd have to really be focusing on it. But with a bold, bright, punchy shade like this, I feel like having that little bit of a gap between like the outside of my lip to the inside of my lip, there is a little bit more of a gap with this formula than with other matte lipsticks I have. And the part that bothers me is because that's where my lips touch. That is where the product kind of comes in contact with itself and it kind of lifts up off of itself. This formula really does kind of build up and stick to itself. So the more I talk, my lips come in contact with each other, the more that I find that that product that would normally be a little farther back to kind of hide that flesh toned ring of lip starts to kind of build up. And where sometimes you might have kind of like a white line of a nude lipstick building up right at the edge of your lip, like right here, this tends to build up. It's not a color differentiation in that area, but it is textural because I can feel there is a small ridge of where the product kind of builds up as the lips come together and they touch. It wears off of that center portion and builds up a little teeny tiny textural ring. That is a problem for me. I also find that if you're going to say you're going to wear 16 hours and be transfer proof, I shouldn't have color like breaking up right here. Now, the good thing about this formula is it reapplies over the top of itself beautifully. That is not true for all lipsticks, especially a lot of long wearing lipsticks. So I can easily throw on another layer of this and it looks good. There does come a point where, you know, on my fourth layer, I'm like, I should just take it all off and go again. And the good part is this is not difficult to take off. It comes off easily with a napkin, with a little bit of tissue paper, with some toilet tissue, like whatever I have handy, I can wipe it off and then I can reapply. I also feel like the claim of 16 hours of wear, I mean, I don't know, maybe for somebody who's laying flat on the bed and does nothing all day. But if you're eating and working and doing other things, I would not say that this is 16 hours of wear. I think I can kind of get around the packaging snafu. I would have liked it better if I didn't have that problem, but the one thing that is probably the most difficult for me to swallow is the fact that I have that slightly bald patch in the middle. And the more I talk, the larger it gets. The longer I go all day with this long wear lipstick, the larger this kind of bald patch gets and the more obvious it is. And I don't want to constantly be touching it up. But is it a good lipstick? Yes. Am I going to kick it out of my collection? No. Does it make me want to run out and buy another one? No. Now, this is not a new formula in my collection, but I picked up a couple of new shades of the Merit Signature Lip Lightweight Lipstick. I started with the shade Baby, which I got this spring and I absolutely love. And then about, I don't know, month and a half ago, I picked up this shade here called L'Avenue. This is such a gorgeous, gorgeous formula. I also recently picked up a new shade in Cabo, so now I have 3 of these. And I know that when I get to the point where I have multiples of one formula, it's that I really like the way the formula feels on my lips and I have to have more. I feel like at $26, you're getting not just a really beautiful wearable formula with nice colors, I'm also getting like that high-end experience with really pretty packaging. I love the way that this has like the name here, it has the Merit logo here, it has the color on the other end, and I do like this acrylic square cap, this gold metal packaging here. Sometimes it'll look gold, but it'll be plastic. Part of it is plastic, but it's very weighted, it's heavy, it feels substantial. This actually weighs more than the Dior lipstick. This is a heavy piece of makeup. It feels weighty, it feels luxurious. I really like it. This is Baby. This is the first shade that I picked up, and that when I got it, I couldn't stop wearing it. It is a beautiful pink leaning nude lipstick that looks like my lips, only a little bit more. I can build it up, I can wear it lightly. It is comfortable, it is nourishing. I get about 4 to 5 hours of wear out of it before I feel like it needs to be reapplied, but it goes from being really beautiful and kind of slightly glossy to being almost not there at all, but my lips always feel soft and comfortable. This is L'Avenue. This is the one that I picked up at the beginning of August, and I absolutely have fallen head over heels for. And this right here is Cabo. It's reading very orange, but it's a really bright, punchy, and I would say it's a orange leaning red. So I added a few more layers to Cabo just so that you can see it does get a little bit deeper, it does get a little bit darker. My favorite part about these is that they're lightweight. They are moisturizing without being slippy. I don't find that they kind of bleed outside of my lip line. I wear all of these without a lip liner, and I can't tell you, like, there's such a few number of lipsticks in my collection that I trust to go without a lip liner, because the older I get, the more of that vermilion line I'm losing right on the edge of my lips, where it's like my lip ends and my skin begins. And there used to be a real nice defined line, not anymore. I'm losing volume in my lips, and that's totally fine. But when that happens, after all the years of sucking through a straw or pursing my lips or what have you, I do have those fine lines. And if something is a really glossy, kind of comfortable, creamy formula, sometimes it just starts to feather out into those lines. I don't necessarily see that happening with any of these shades here, but this one in L'Avenue is one I know for sure I'm going to be reaching for all fall. The one thing I will tell you, I did notice that this is one where if I build a lot of it up, like if I really go to town building this up, like I did on the top portion here, you can see it's a little inconsistent in its coverage. This really does best when you add 1 or 2 swipes and you leave it. If you really build it up, you have to have almost perfectly unlined lips. And at almost 48, I have a lot of vertical lines in my lips, and that's fine. I find that when this product settles into those vertical lines, the best way to deal with it is just to kind of smush my lips together a little bit, redisperse the product, and it's fine. It doesn't really bother me, but I know it happens, and it's most visible with this kind of browny, rosy shade called L'Avenue. But I love this, love Cabo. I'm glad to have more Merit lipsticks in my collection, and I'm thinking, do I need another? I don't, but I really do love this formula. When I was in Sephora shopping for the Dior, shopping for the Merit lipstick, I also picked up one of the Kind Word lipsticks from Rare Beauty. I was so delighted when I saw that Rare Beauty was coming out with bullet lipsticks, because out of all the different types of lip formulas out there, lip oils, lip glosses, lip liners, like, bullet lipsticks are my favorite. And it could be because when I was growing up, you know, in the 70s and 80s as a kid, I remember watching my mom using just a bullet lipstick. She was not a gloss kind of person, really didn't get much into lip liners until later on in life, but she would heavily lean on a bullet lipstick. And maybe it's nostalgia, maybe it's what I grew up with, and so it just has a special place in my heart. So the things that I love about this, first of all, isn't the packaging super cute. It reminds me of an old school mailbox. I know that's kind of funny. I like that we have the sticker at one end, the Rare logo on the other. It has it printed in gold. Even though it is a lighter weight product and not nearly as expensive as the Merit and probably less than half the price of the Dior, it feels nice in the hand. It has a really cool aspect to this where if you push the bottom here, it pops out. It's kind of a locking mechanism, and that way you can pull it out and twist it up. And I don't have a packaging fail with this because it has a flat surface here and it matches up this way and it's the only way it goes in. I feel like if a more affordable brand can figure out their packaging in a way that I know how it goes in easily, Dior can do it as well. But I ended up getting the shade Worthy. Now, I love this formula. This formula is a matte formula. This right here is Worthy. The formula of these matte lipsticks is absolutely stunning. It glides and it feels like a cream lipstick going on. It nourishes and it feels good on the lips the same way a cream lipstick does. For a traditional bullet lipstick without any long-term, long wear claims to it, I feel like it actually wears really well. I get about 5 hours of wear before I start getting, you know, the bald patch in the middle, or I feel like I need another layer because, you know, it's a little bit here, a little bit there, some on my fork, some on my coffee cup, and you do get transferred to things because it's a bullet lipstick, but that doesn't make me upset. The one thing I wish is that there were more shades. There's only 8 shades of these lipsticks. And the one that I ended up getting here in Worthy, although it is a really pretty nude, do you notice how this is a little bit more pink and this has a little bit more brown, almost a hint of a peach lean to it. This is a more flattering color on my skin than Worthy. And I feel like, although I love this formula, I went and I swatched all 8 of them when I was at Sephora. And the way that I do that is I put it on the back of my hand and I hold it up like this. And I can tell like some colors really bring life and vibrancy to my face. And this one, I thought, you know what, that's actually a really good color for me. And then when I actually put it on my lips, I can make it work. I can shift it a little bit with a lip liner. They didn't have the Worthy lip liner in stock when I was at my local Sephora, so I didn't pick up a lip liner. But I'll tell you, this needs a slightly pinkier lip liner to not make me look like all the life is being drained from my face. So it's the color that I don't like with this, and I don't wear it as often, but the formulation is beautiful. I like the packaging. I like the price point. I like everything about this lipstick except for I wish they had a few more options shade-wise. And out of all 8 of them, this was the one that was best gonna suit my skin tone. I feel like a lot of the other nudes, and there were several nudes, were too peachy leaning or too brown, and definitely not the sort of colors I reach for first. This one was the closest, and it still is kind of like a, oh, not quite. I want to love it like 100%. I love it 75% because of all the good things that it is and how comfortable it is to wear. But I don't like that I can't just twist it up and put it on. It does need to be cocktailed with something else to suit my skin tone just a little bit better. Another product that I like the formula of, I like the way that it feels on my lips, but the color just wasn't right, was this. This is the Everglass Lip Dew from M Cosmetics. I picked up this shade, I think this is called Enchant, and this was actually listed in the marketing as a pink leaning nude. I was like, yes, that's what I love, a pink leaning nude. And let me show you. Not even pink at all. It's definitely a little bit more peachy. That makes this look pink, and it's not really that pink. Okay, so let me tell you about this. There are some things that I really like. First of all, look at that shine. The shine is great. It feels so good on my lips. I love the way this feels. I also really like the angle of the doe foot here, where you have kind of a little bit of a slant to it. A flat, almost paddle-like applicator, but it's only on one side. I don't feel that it pulls up too much product when I pull it out of the tube. I do like that it's kind of a short, squat little container. I think that's fabulous. The packaging is great because it has this little window in here, which is great not just for seeing the color of the product, but also, and mine was that way until I kind of swirled it around, a little gap of air to show me where in the tube I am. If I were to sit this flat on my countertop and then tomorrow morning come and look, I would definitely see that I've gone through about a quarter of it. I really like the way this formula feels. I just wished I liked the color a little bit better. I've been wearing this mostly at work. And that's because I'm in a mask all day. I work at the dentist's office, and every time I'm with the patient, I'm in a mask. And I'll tell you that the reason I'm wearing this at work is because I like the way it feels. I like the way that it makes my lips feel moisturized, comfortable. I just don't really love this kind of orangey color. The same way that I make this work by cocktailing it with a lip liner or another product, I'll put a pinkier lip liner down and I'll wear this and it'll be okay. The other thing I don't like is, as you can see right here along the top, This is showing where the gold trim is, like right here especially. As it gets knocked around in my purse, on the tabletop, in my scrubs pocket at work, it's starting to show its wear. The other thing is, on the opposite side of where this little clear plastic window is, there was gold lettering right here and the M logo. And guess what? After the first week of me opening and closing, it completely wore off. So I feel like this gold trim and the problems that I'm having with it here kind of make it like every time I pull it out, I feel like I'm pulling out an old ratty product. The minute the packaging starts to look all, it makes me want to reach for it less. And I know it's stupid because it should be what is the product on the inside like, which I really like. I just wish the color was different. I feel like they need to find a better solution to the packaging problems here, because I don't have those problems when I reach for their other lip products. I feel like their Infinite Lip Cloud is a beautiful product. Their True Gloss, I think they might be phasing it out and coming out with this instead, was in beautiful, easy to use packaging that stood the test of time to wear and tear, as do their lip cushions. They have beautiful lip products. This is a fantastic formula. I just feel like they need to do better with the packaging because it's not handling everyday wear and tear very well. And I'm not like dropping it and scratching it. It's living in a pocket all by itself and I'm having these problems. It's sitting flat on the countertop and it's having these problems. And when I put it in my purse, I put it in a pocket with like maybe one other lip product. So the gold does get scratched off, and that's kind of a disappointment for me. Are you seeing this little the longer I go on, the more you'll see that gap there, and it's just going to bother me to have to touch it up later. All right, let's talk about some affordable lip products I picked up at Ulta. I happened to go in for one thing, and as I was walking by to get in line at the end cap, I saw a bunch of Essence products, and I was like, oh wait, hello. And they were so affordable. And I realized I had not tried any lip products from Essence. So I picked up one of their semi-matte lipsticks. This is the shade Charming. It's number 15. I feel like this is a really pretty and also very comfortable and easy to wear pink lipstick. It's not too bubblegum, it's not too Barbie, it's not quite a nude, it's definitely a mauve pink, but it's super, super wearable. This is a better kind of a pink leaning nude, and this is more of a mauve, I think. The one thing that I like about this is that it glides really easily. Sometimes I expect an affordable lipstick like this to be the sort that as I put it on would grab and tug, since it is a matte lipstick. But I feel like this semi-matte formula keeps it from being too dry. It really does just, glide on, and it doesn't ever feel like it's too much. I like that it does stay looking matte. There is a hint, the smallest, barest hint of shine to it, but like 15 minutes later, it's gone. Now, this doesn't wear forever. I feel like this is a super comfortable, easy to wear formula from the drugstore, and for under $5, I don't know that if you find a shade that you like that you can go wrong. I just feel like it's comfortable. I like it a lot. The two products that I have been reaching for a little bit more are these. These are the Essence Stay 8-Hour Lip Liners. Now, like the Dior says it's 16 hours. No. These are not 8 hours either. I don't feel like I get a full 8 hours of wear from these, but what I love about these is how creamy they are. I am wearing this one here in Passionate, which is number 8, with the lipstick I'm wearing today. Look at that. It's a beautiful gel formula, under $5. I'm not sure if these are $2.99 or $3.99, but they're fantastic. And then I have the shade 01 Curious. This is a beautiful nude. This one works really well with this lipstick. This one works really well with this lipstick. I've actually worn this with L'Avenue. I wear this a lot. I have actually worn this and this alone under my mask at work, and guess what? It's fantastic and it wears. Now, does it stay all day? No, but it actually gives me really pretty color and it doesn't give me clown mouth. I feel like if you're looking for something that's going to have really great wear and going to extend the life of your lipstick, one of these liners is fantastic. The other thing that I think is just brilliant is that, guess what? there is a sharpener in the end of every single one of these. I remember finding sharpeners like in the ends of pencils like this. Remember when Marc Jacobs was doing it with his highliners, and I was like, what genius. And I love that even a bargain, affordable lip liner from the drugstore offers that. Fantastic. I love it so much. So great lip liner. I wouldn't say it's quite 8 hours, but it does hold on for more than 6 hours. And I feel like they're super easy to use and affordable, and they literally glide. Super comfortable, very wearable shades. I would not be mad picking up a couple more of these. All I have left are the new Lisa Eldridge lipsticks. Now, first of all, you know I love Lisa Eldridge. I love her formula. I feel like she makes beautiful lipsticks. This is where I want to spend my dollars when it comes to luxury lip products. I want to get Lisa's, mainly because the formulas work well for me. They're comfortable. They actually do nourish my lips. And I feel like she has a really artistic eye when it comes to creating shades that multiple skin tones can wear. Now, I picked up 8 of the new 10 shades she launched during her summer release. And I thought instead of talking about them and describing them each, I'll just show you which one I wear least, which one I wear most, swatch them all for you, and we won't spend too much time on them. Because if you've been watching my channel at all recently, you know I've kind of done a deep dive into Lisa's lipsticks. All right, so she released 2 formulas this summer. One was the Insanely Saturated and one was the Luxuriously Lucent. The one lipstick that I have worn the least since that initial purchase, I love this shade, but it's definitely its own look, and you can't just throw it on with anything. And it's this. This is New Wave. I love New Wave, but it is one of those lipsticks that is more of a bright fuchsia. It almost leans a little bit orchid in tone, the fact that it is really bright, bold, and punchy. This is a demi-matte formula, so you do get that matte look, but I don't feel it lasts as long as her velvet lipsticks. Those have a little bit more heft and wear time to them. This is no slouch. I get a good 5 or 6 hours out of this before I feel like I need to touch it up, but it is a super, super comfortable matte lipstick to wear. But this shade in New Wave is the one I've worn the least. This next shade is Luxuriously Lucent. I was sure I was going to be in this nonstop all summer. Now, I did wear it quite a lot, but not as much as I expected. This is Wonder Wheel. This is more of a, you know, bright pop of sheer pink. Beautiful color, but I'll tell you, I didn't reach for this that much. And I don't know why. I don't know whether it was I was in a mood for something else. I was leaning more on the deeper or the brown tones, but this is probably the one that I wore the second least. This next shade surprised me. This is the lightest lipstick shade that Lisa makes. This one's called Le Mépris, and it is a beige nude lipstick. What I love about Lisa is she creates such beautiful, interesting colors. I normally don't cocktail anything together with her lipsticks. I just apply them straight from the bullet or straight from the lip liner, and off we run. This is one of those that I feel looks best on me when I cocktail it with other things. And I'm a huge fan of cocktailing lip colors together. I do it regularly with almost every other brand except for Lisa, because her colors are interesting. They're nuanced. They're distinctly different from so many others I have in my collection. Close, but a little bit different, and that little bit different makes them interesting. This is one though that unless I'm wearing like a super dark eye or it's the exact perfect shade, it tends to breed a little peach on me. So this is best when I'm mixing it with other things. I do wear it. I like wearing it under my mask at work because you can't see it, and it's super, super comfortable. And when I take my mask off for lunch, I don't really have like a lot of color everywhere else. And if it is slightly outside of the lip line, you can't really tell because it is such a light shade. All right, the next one, I love this so much, and this is one that surprised me because I didn't think I was going to, because it's a peach lipstick. This is called Je ne sais quoi. This is the one that I was like, I don't know why I'm buying it, why am I getting it, but this has the ability to look like a bold lipstick and also like I'm not trying hard. This has enough color and punch to really light my face up. And then on top of that, as it starts to wear down and it's not like freshly applied, it looks like that magic, you know, French girl approach where, yes, I put on some lipstick, but I haven't checked it and it just looks fabulous. I love this. Je ne sais quoi is a beautiful kind of peachy shade. It is fantastic. All right, from there, this is one that I wore and I wore and I wore, and it's one of the Insanely Saturated. This is Strawberry Shock. And I love this because it is a red, but it leans kind of like a pinky red. It has almost a slight coral lean to it, so it's bright without being too much, but it brings a real fun pop to the lip. It's not quite as dark as this, but it does have a softness and a velvetiness to it, and I really, really like it. All right, the last three, I couldn't really decide which one I had used the most. I put them all at the end because I wore them a lot, but I can tell you which one I have used the most just by sheer wear from the bullet. This is one of my new favorite shades. I know this is going to be used nonstop all fall long. This one here is Night Thoughts, and it's a beautiful kind of a berry, a sheer berry. This is the sort of lipstick that I have been on the hunt for, where it's not too brown, where it's not too purple, where it's not too red. It is fantastic. And my favorite way to wear this is that when it's been on for a couple of hours and it's not freshly applied and it looks like that. Oh, I love. All right, this next shade I was sure was going to be my favorite out of the whole bunch that I purchased because she's a red, and this is the red lipstick I've always wanted in the Luxuriously Lucent formula. This is Palazzo, and Palazzo is an easy, comfortable, although it is a red, it's not a high maintenance red. I don't know what it is about this formula that even if it gets a little blurry on the outside edge, it looks lived in and good and not like messy and out of control. This is such a fabulous shade, and it has just a little hint of like orange to it. It's not an orange-based lipstick, but there is just a little bit of warmth. So easy, so wearable, so fantastic. The last one that I picked up that I can tell you I have worn the most, all of her Luxuriously Lucent lipsticks have a little L imprinted on them for Lisa, and this is the one where I can tell that I'm almost to the top of the L. I've used this one the most. This one is called Meet Me in Berlin, and this is the brown lipstick of my dreams. So this is the one I can tell you I have used the most. It probably goes between Palazzo and Meet Me in Berlin, but I definitely can tell by the shape of the bullet that this is the one I have reached for the most. This is the one that I have reached for, these two here, the least, but I do love all of them, and I'm glad I have all of them in there. And would I recommend these lipsticks? Absolutely. I love all of these lipsticks. I'm glad to have them, but I wouldn't want you to run out there and feel like you need to get as many as I do. Go through, cherry pick a shade or two that you really feel speaks to you and is kind of like your perfect everyday color, and let yourself indulge in a daily luxury with one of these lipsticks. But yeah, you know I love Lisa Eldridge, you know I love these lipsticks, but this is the order from least used to most used. Thank you so much for watching today. I would love to know if you've been picking up any new lip products, any new formulations, anything that you think I need to know about that I should try. Oh my goodness, you would need to let me know in the comments down below. I'm always curious to know what your favorites are. And if you have any of these, which ones do you reach for the most? Thank you so much for making the time to watch today. I'll see you again soon.